Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today's topic is stress. Stress, stress, stress. Everybody is stressed. Instead of the United States of America, we could call it the United States of stress. It doesn't matter the age group. It could be in elementary school, junior high, high school. It doesn't matter. College, adults. It seems like the different ages, there is stress. There are a lot of things that just stress us out. And it's not so much the stress, but it's how we manage the stress. And a lot of times we don't know how to manage stress, you know? So when you're young, you think of things like, why would a young person be stressed? Well, if you're being bullied at school, you don't want to go to school. So you're stressed about that. If you really don't like school, you're stressed about that. You could be stressed about what's going on in your home life. That could cause you to be stressed. As we get older in those teen years, the teen years are hard years for some. We look at relationships at that point and will she like me? Will he like me? Am I going to fit in with this group? Am I not going to fit in with this group? We look at things like that, and peer pressure is just so hard at this age because we're so concerned about what our friends think about us. As we get older, then it's, I'm going to college. Am I not going to college? And how am I going to pay for college? Am I going to make the grades to get to college? And then you get to college, and then it's like that the whole thing starts over. Meeting new people. If you're shy, that brings about stress because you don't know how to engage, with people, engage in conversations. And then studies. When you get in high school, sorry, when you get into college, there's nobody that's going to be saying, get up out of the bed. It's time to go to school. You either go and get the education, you know, or you don't. So when we become adults, after we've been to college, there are different types of stress. Now, I've got to find a job. I've been to college for 4 years and I've got to find a job. And sometimes it's not as easy as it sounds. You could go and have a 4 year degree and then end up not working, in your field for a while. Well, once you perhaps get the job, is it all that it was cracked up to be? Sometimes it's not. And then that can cause stress. But then what if you get a job and the job is okay, but the people at the job are not okay? You have a boss that absolutely hates you, you feel, and gives you such a hard time. That causes you stress. So, what about relationships? Now it's time to get married. You think, I've got to find a mate. And then finding the right mate. Sometimes we look for love in all the wrong places. So, what if you choose someone that was really not meant for you? And then you go down that road, and then things are tough, and then you have a rough marriage, and then the marriage doesn't work out. Then that's stress. Or what if you find Mr. Right or Mrs. Right and you're living the dream? You've got the job, your partner has a job, and now we want to bring kids into the mix. So then people stress about not having children, they stress about having children, and then when they get the children, they're stressed about, now I've got to raise these children. And it's not as easy as it sounds. But then when you have the children and your children grow up and then they have issues and then they're stressed, it just seems that this thing called stress just keeps going. When you get older, you worry about, did I accomplish what I was put on this earth to do? You know, my career now is over. And I'm now more closer to my death than ever because I'm older. And now I may be living, you may be living in a nursing home, and that wasn't what you intended to happen in your life. And then there was disease. There are conditions that limit us, and then there's stress about that. I could go on and on and on about stress. I mean, we all have it. I mean, I've had stress about making video content. It's just the truth because I'm walking into something that I'm not used to doing. Of course, that causes stress. But you know what? I'm going to forge on and I'm going to keep going. Okay? So, all stress is not bad. A little stress is okay. Because I'm sure you've heard of the response, the fight or flight response. I'm sure you've heard of that. And at that time, there's cortisol that's released and adrenaline that's released at the time of stress. So that's going to make you stronger for the moment. Now, that's quite helpful if you need to pick up a car off of somebody. But then if the stress is constant, then that's not good. Because you could be that person who ends up with heart conditions, chronic stomach conditions, headaches, that can't be explained by anything else. The list goes on and on and on and on. But what are you going to do? Some people choose to perhaps start smoking because they say, oh man, when I smoke this cigarette, this nicotine just relaxes me and I feel so good. And then 20 years down the line, you have a 20-year habit of smoking cigarettes, and then that's done damage to your body. But the reason you have to keep smoking and smoking and smoking the cigarettes is because it's something that doesn't last. So what about if you decide on this behavior? Well, I'm going to start drinking. I'm going to start with beers. I'm going to drink a beer. I'm going to drink another beer. And then before you know it, then you're drinking liquor. And before you know it, you are addicted to the alcohol. But did it solve your problems? Is it causing you less stress? If anything, it's probably causing you more stress because now you have your body in a situation where you're dependent on the alcohol to be able to function. Okay? And then what if you chose to manage your stress by doing hard drugs, methamphetamines, or maybe cocaine? What if that's the way you chose to manage your stress? Well, sometimes these drugs, it may be fun, maybe at the beginning, perhaps. That's if it doesn't kill you very early on, because some people try cocaine and they die just by trying cocaine the first time. But no matter which of these habits that I've mentioned you try, it's just the temporary fix. So you've got to figure out a way to manage your stress. So that's why I'm here. I have a zone that you can feel free to not feel judged in, and we can talk. And perhaps we can figure out a better way to manage your stress than perhaps you're trying now. So check me out, Better Days, faithbasedcounseling.com. I will see you there.